Hey there. Welcome to Product Marketing Maestros, Tales from the Front Lines. I'm your host, Nitin Karthik. As Director of Product Marketing and a top product marketing voice, I've always found that real-world case studies are the litmus test for the effectiveness of any product marketing strategy. And that is why, on this show, we dive into the minds of industry titans, as well as rising stars, unpacking their expertise in action-packed episodes that showcase the power of product marketing through real-world case studies. And today, my friends, we are joined by Product Marketing Maestro Andrea Saez, who is Senior Product Marketing Manager at Unmind. As a recognized top 100 product marketing voice with over 10 years of experience in product marketing, communication, and growth, Andrea helps companies achieve product momentum by applying product thinking to scaling the strategies. Andrea is also co-author of the book, The Product Momentum Gap. And this is a book that challenges the conventional wisdom of product development and introduces a new paradigm of creating value and growth. Andrea enjoys writing, speaking, and hosting events on topics related to product, growth, and customer experience. She is passionate about learning, engaging, and empowering customers and product teams. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Andrea. Andrea, it's an absolute honor to have you on the show. Welcome.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Very honored to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Andrea, today we're going to pick a situation from your experience and we'll tell the audience, we'll use the ABC framework. So we'll talk about the antecedents, the prior challenges, we'll talk about the behaviors, some of the actions that you took, and we'll talk about the conclusion, how things played out. So with that, Andrea, pick a situation from your experience and tell us what were the antecedents, what were the prior challenges?
Sure. So today I want to tell a little story about the importance of doing market research. So I was working at this company, at this startup, and we were, as a product team, I sat with the product team for context, trying to figure out, what is the next big thing that we should focus on. And we decided that it was going to be integrations. And so the team had apparently, prior to my starting, decided that they were going to build a Zendesk integration. So my first question was, okay, cool. Do we know what that's going to look like? And the answer that I got was, not really. And I thought, okay, that's a little curious. And I kind of started asking myself, okay, but why? Why do we not know? Why is Zendesk the next integration we absolutely need to build? Where is this information really coming from?
Yeah, I love that, Andrea, because many times we are busy executing. This is what we're doing without thinking, why are we doing? So I love that. Start with why. Wonderful. So you've talked a little bit about the prior challenges. Now, Andrea, let's talk about the behaviors. Tell us about some of the actions that you took here.
Right. So for those that know me, they know that my first two questions are always, what problem are we trying to solve and why are we doing this? So I said, okay, well, I'd love to take a look at some of that feedback. And the team's answer was, oh, it's somewhere on intercom. I thought, okay, that's interesting. So I kind of went up to the CPO and said, do you mind if I go through, the last, year or so of intercom conversations and just grab those pieces of feedback? And he's like, oh, fantastic. Like that will really help the product team, which was red flag number 2, right? Why is this helping the product team if they already know what they're building? So I actually went back 2 years. And I found out that in 60% of the conversations, it was actually the team saying, oh, and by the way, the next integration we're going to build is Zendesk. It wasn't people actually asking for it. So the team was actually suffering from confirmation bias. So I went back and I showed this to the CPO and he's like, oh, that's impossible. Like, we just know this, right? And I said, okay, well, why don't we get another piece of data to just align and confirm this? And I went ahead and just ran a little free form survey type thing. And I asked our customers if you could choose from any top 3 integrations for us to build next, which integration would that be? And Zendesk didn't even appear in the top 10. So that was some very, very quick learning from 2 points of evidence. And it took less than 3 days to figure out.
Wow, look at that. So you had a situation where the team was all ready to go on this project.
Yeah.
And you took a step back and said, okay, guys, why? And then you did the research. In 3 days, you found that maybe they were barking up the wrong tree. My goodness. So I think this has really set the stage, Andrea. now that we've talked about the antecedents and the behaviors, tell us about the conclusion. So now that you've found this, how did this play out? I'm really curious to hear this.
Well, I mean, as you can imagine, it turns out that Zendesk wasn't the most important integration, was not even in the top 10. So we managed to refocus the team and go, okay, well, here are the actual top 5. Let's narrow down to top 3 and then figure out and do some more research around, why people want these integrations, what is the need, what are the behaviors we need to implement. So it refocused the team entirely, and they were able to work on the integrations that would have the most impact. And they were fantastic integrations. They did eventually build the Zendesk integration, I think just because they had promised it so much. But at least at that point in time, they didn't waste the time, the effort in building, an integration that was not going to provide anyone with value.
So fabulous. I want to highlight a couple of things, Andrea, that you shared with us, and I think the audience will really take away a lot from this. In smaller organizations, there are usually a million things that we can do. There's usually no shortage. And so the challenge is not so much doing all these million things. The challenge is knowing what to do and even what not to do. In fact, there's a saying that wisdom is not just knowing what choices we should take, it's also knowing what choices we should not take. So I love that example. And it sounds like from the way things worked out at your end, the team was able to maybe deprioritize Zendesk at that time, focus on maybe higher priority activities, and eventually launch Zendesk, that integration. Fabulous. So Andrea, this is great. I learned a lot. I think our audience also learned a lot from this. Tell us, Andrea, if people wanted to learn more about you, where can they find you? Where can they find what's next?
Just look me up on LinkedIn, send me a little request, and I'll accept.
So easy. Guys, there you have it. So definitely reach out to Andrea on LinkedIn. And whether it's to pick her mind about a challenge that you're having, or even to have a coffee chat, sometimes it's good to just exchange ideas. So definitely hit her up. And my friends, armed with that knowledge, let's make the magic happen.